All right, let's talk about one of the most maddening feelings on the planet. You are bone tired, just completely exhausted, but your mind is running 100 miles an hour. We're going to break down the science behind this tired but wired feeling and really get into the neurochemical loop that's keeping you wide awake. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Your body just feels heavy, you are desperate for sleep, but your brain, well, your brain is busy making to-do lists, replaying conversations, and worrying about tomorrow. It is this bizarre, frustrating paradox that so many of us go through night after night. So here's the most important thing I want you to hear right now. If this is your struggle, it is not a personal failure. This isn't about willpower. You can't just force yourself to sleep when your own brain chemistry is actively working against you. This is a biological issue, a solvable one, not some flaw in your character. Okay, so first, let's really define the problem. We're going to peel back the layers and look at what is actually going on inside your body and your brain when you're stuck in that awful, tired but wired state. I want you to think of insomnia less like a sleep disorder and more like a system-wide alert. It's basically your body's check engine light coming on. It's a signal telling you that three supercritical systems, your brain's clock, your stress response, and your natural calming chemicals, are just totally out of sync. They're not talking to each other correctly anymore. So to really get this, we need to meet the three main players in this whole story. Think of them as the characters in our sleep drama. The hormones and neurotransmitters that are supposed to be running the show. First up, we've got melatonin. You've probably heard of this one. Its job is really simple, but also incredibly powerful. When the sun goes down, melatonin levels are supposed to rise, sending out a memo to your entire body that says, hey, it's nighttime. It is safe to power down and get some rest. Next, there's cortisol. Yeah, it gets a bad rap as the stress hormone, but its main job is actually to keep you alert and give you energy. Cortisol is absolutely essential, but it has to follow a super strict schedule. It should be high in the morning to wake you up and then very, very low at night so you can actually fall asleep. And our third key player is GABA. You can think of GABA as the brain's brake pedal. It's the main calming neurotransmitter, and its entire purpose is to slow everything down, quiet the noise, reduce anxiety, and basically tell your racing mind that it's okay to chill out. And this is where it all clicks. Think about it like this. Cortisol is the gas pedal. It revs the engine, pushing for alertness and energy. GABA is the brake pedal, promoting calm and rest. To sleep well, you need to be able to ease off the gas and gently apply the brake. The tired but wired feeling? That's what happens when your foot is slammed on the accelerator and the brake lines have been cut. So how on earth do these three get so messed up? Well, that brings us to the real heart of the issue. This nasty, self-perpetuating, vicious cycle that gets you stuck and keeps you there. Let's walk through this dangerous loop. So it often kicks off with a weak melatonin signal. Because of that, it can't do its job of pushing cortisol down at night. So what happens? You get step 2. Cortisol spikes at the worst possible time, blasting through any sleep signals and actually burning through your supply of calming GABA. And that leads right to step 3. Now you're low on GABA, so your brain's brake system is failing, which, you guessed it, allows for even more cortisol spikes. And boom, that's the loop. Every single night, the cycle just reinforces itself, digging you deeper into the hole. And you know, once you understand that loop, it suddenly makes perfect sense why so many of the common quick fixes for sleep just don't work long term. They're not addressing the real problem. Take a look at this. Most sleeping pills, what they do is basically just sedate the brain. They knock you out. And sure, that might give you some temporary sleep, but it does absolutely nothing to fix that out-of-whack cortisol rhythm or help you rebuild your GABA. The restorative approach, on the other hand, is totally different. It's not about forcing sleep. It's about rebalancing the whole system so that natural, healthy sleep can just happen on its own. So let's talk about the good stuff. How do we actually restore that natural rhythm? This is the path forward. The goal isn't to fight your body into submission. It's about giving it the support and the raw materials it needs to find its balance again. So goal number 1, support your body's own production of melatonin. See, instead of just taking a big dose of melatonin, which can sometimes mess with your cycle, the idea here is to give your body the building blocks it needs to make its own. Think of it like giving a chef the best ingredients. Things like magnesium and vitamin B6 are critical for the recipe, and amino acids like glycine and L-tryptophan are the key ingredients. Okay, next up, we've got to strengthen the brain's brake system. And hey, look who's back, magnesium. It shows up again because it is absolutely crucial for making your GABA receptors more sensitive. It basically makes your brakes work better. Then you have things like L-theanine, which helps promote those calm, focused alpha brainwaves, and taurine, which just helps the whole nervous system find its stability. And finally, we have to deal with that pesky nighttime cortisol, this stress siren. The goal here isn't to crush it, we need it, but to gently guide it back to its natural rhythm. Adaptogens like a low dose of ashwagandha can be amazing for this. But you know what? The solution isn't always a supplement. Something as simple as making sure you have some healthy carbs with dinner can prevent a blood sugar crash in the middle of the night that would otherwise trigger a big cortisol spike. So when you put all of these pieces together, you start to see a really clear and honestly, a very hopeful path forward. It's about moving away from that constant frustration and towards sleep that actually feels deep and restorative. I really want you to let this one sink in. If you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this quote. Your struggle is real, it's physiological, and it is not your fault. It's just a signal that your body's rhythm is off. And the good news is that rhythm can be found again. At the end of the day, real healing sleep doesn't come from forcing your brain to shut down. It comes when you gently and consistently create the conditions for balance, where cortisol is quiet, GABA is strong, and melatonin can do its job. So the question to leave you with is this. What's one small step you can take, maybe even tonight, to help your body start finding its rhythm again?